I'm Stacie Zinn Roberts, and I'm the host of Live Your Passion. My guest today is professional runner Martin Goode. Martin has been a running coach since 1981 at both the collegiate and high school level. He is a professional member of the Brooks Shoe Company Inspired Daily program. So when he runs, you see the Brooks name on his uniform. Martin was elected to the Howard County Striders Club Hall of Fame in 2007. He's run more than 20 marathons, including 8 Boston marathons. Welcome, Martin Goode.
Hi, Stacie.
Hi, Martin. How are you today?
Good, good.
Good. I'm so glad to have you. And now, I understand that you have been running. You've been running at least since high school, right?
Correct. Sophomore year of high school.
How did you get started?
It's funny, but I was walking across the gym floor, and the cross-country coach grabbed me by the arm and said I looked like a runner to meet him out at the track after school. And I just did what he told me to do. And there it is, and that was it.
That was it.
That was it. I ran, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Great, great. So somebody looked at you, the coach looked at you and said, you look like a runner, and that was...
Yeah, kind of stereotypically.
Well, what's a stereotypical runner look like?
Well, in school they called me Skin Man because I was so skinny. I was tall, probably like 5'10", 120, 130 pounds.
Okay.
But very skinny.
Tall, lanky. I gotcha.
Yes.
And you've been a running coach off and on for more than 30 years in both high school, and in college. So, what is it that about coaching this particular sport of running that inspires you? You and I chatted earlier, and you were talking about some of the impact that you've seen that running has had on your students. Can you address that?
Well, to see the difference, see the impact in the athlete, whether it be performance-wise or just life experience-wise. You know, if they feel better about themselves, that's great. They feel better because they ran faster, that's great. But all in all, it's all about feeling good, you know.
And running does that.
And well, athletics, but in my field, running, track, cross country, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It is.
And you've been doing it for a long time. You can run most of your life, right?
Well, more than, about 2/3 of my life, yes.
Yeah, but for other athletes who, let's say, play football, after a certain age, you can't do that anymore. You just can't take the hits. Running's a different kind of sport.
Yes, that's the one thing that we preach in the high school level is running is a lifetime sport. So what we want to do is make sure that it is enjoyable so that the athlete does continue to do it after the collegiate years.
Okay. So what is it personally about running that keeps you doing it? What do you get out of it? Why do you love it?
What it is, say like today's run, I was running down in the valley. It's about 30 degrees. I'm running along the river. You can see the snow on the banks, a little bit of ice in the water. It's peaceful. Just, it's great to be running and feel good and be able to think about, you know, what's going on, the day's events and things that will be coming up. That's, I mean, and I was actually thinking that today, like that is the ultimate moment, right then. You know, running and just, it's peaceful. It's just wonderful.
The ultimate moment. Tell me what you mean by the ultimate moment.
Like, I guess the ultimate happiness, you know, not necessarily like you want to be by yourself, but you're by yourself, you're running, you can do it. It's not like you're trying to throw a baseball and you need someone to catch it. You can run alone or you can run with a group, and I do run with a group quite a lot, but you know, at this particular time it was just really great to be out running. I mean, we've had some extremely cold temperatures down here,
In Maryland, yeah, you're in the middle of that blizzard, aren't you?
Yeah, the polar episode.
So
We're we're
does
a little wimpy down here, though, Stacie.
you're well, right, because Maryland doesn't always get what the rest of the Mid-Atlantic gets. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you regard running as kind of a spiritual experience in a way?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt, without a doubt. You know, they talk about runner's high and second wind, but basically it's just the when you run, it's just a chemical change, and it does feel good. It actually feels good to be done. That's a good thing. Well, for a person in my position, when you're training, and sometimes training can get a little difficult, it is fun to be done and know that you've done your workout and that you've satisfied that day's requirement, and then you can get on with your life.
Okay. Now, sport has always been a big part of your life, running certainly, but you're also a huge fan of the Baltimore Ravens, the football team?
Yep, Ravens football, and I like baseball in general. Obviously, the Orioles are my home team, but I have a friend that's a manager for the minor league team for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've taken a great interest in them. And I've dabbled with some Red Sox Nation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, I do know a little bit of a personal story. You and your brother, who sadly passed away last year, Lou, used to travel a lot for sports, right?
Yes, absolutely. We did a lot of baseball games together, and we did some football games together.
What is it, do you think, it is about sport that helps people to bond?
What is it about the sport? Well, you know, it's kind of ironic, but my brother and I would love to go to games, but we'd sit next to each other, and you would think that we were mad at each other because we wouldn't talk. That was our kind of code. And I have a friend of mine that I go to a lot of baseball games with now, and we don't really talk a lot to each other because you're watching the whole, all the events going on, everything, from them sweeping the bases and just warming up. It's a great thing. But it's great to be together, and then you can talk about it like, man, that was a great catch. I'd say that was as good a catch as the Willie Mays catch in the World Series, and just it's great that you can sit and talk, and it's just, to me, a great bonding experience.
Sport overall is a bonding experience.
Overall, yes.
Even if you don't talk during the game, after.
After the game, yeah. I actually had an athlete that ran for me in high school, and I love all sports. So we would be running these really hard interval workouts, and in between, during the rest periods, he and I would start talking about the Capitals, about the Ravens, about the Redskins. And the kids liked it because he would stall for them so they could catch their breath. Thinking they were getting one over on me, but I had that internal clock and I knew what was going on. But we do have a good time. It's sports in general is just a great outlet.
And you said that it also had helped some of your students, maybe some kids who had problems, to gain confidence. You had talked to me about that before the interview.
That's one of the most fulfilling things, to have an athlete or a parent come up and express their gratitude for helping them out. High school is tough, with the physical changes, trying to make friends, people getting teased, and maturity levels. It's a very tough meshing, like a mixing bowl type of thing of everything that you can think of.
And you've been doing this for 30 years. What do you feel that you get out of the experience? You've watched generations of kids come through. What do you get out of it?
it's fun. I find it's rare, but when it happens, you'll run into an athlete that you had, and they're still running. I ran into a girl that I coached that I guess you would typically say she wouldn't amount to much as a pure athlete, but she actually ran the Boston Marathon. She came into the store that I was working at, and she had a Boston jacket on, and she said it was because you made running so much fun and you inspired me. I continued to run through college and my adulthood, and I actually qualified for the Boston Marathon. It's just, I could tell story after story after story, and you hear the stories, and it makes it, makes you proud. It makes it worthwhile to having put that kind of effort and energy into coaching.
You certainly are living your passion. There's no doubt about it. You can see it on your face and the stories that you tell. And you know that that I created the What's Your Avocado concept that says that everyone has something about them that's special. And so we call that unique element your avocado. The key is to identify that unique element, your avocado, and then act on it. So, Martin, at what point can you give me your aha moment, the avocado moment when you knew what you were here to do and how you were going to do it?
Absolutely. Well, it was, I had, before I started coaching in high school, I coached 3 years with little kids, junior strider, the Howard County Junior Striders. It's a group of kids ages 4 to 18, basically. And, I mean, it was serious enough that we did go to California for a national championship, San Antonio, but I did it 3 years. Now, I was a pretty good runner, fairly good. And I decided that I was going to take some time off from coaching to try to concentrate on me being a better runner. It's kind of selfish when you think about it. But I was speaking to someone that I knew on the phone, and they had their feelings about what I should be doing. And as I was talking to them, the woman, or the wife of the gentleman that I was speaking with, she got on the phone and started crying when she found out that I wasn't going to be coaching the kids anymore. She didn't have a kid in the program. She just knew how well the coaching had gone. So when she cried, it really made an impact on me that maybe, I shouldn't think so much of myself, that I should think about coaching, kids. So I had that this summer, and then I had an opportunity arose at a local high school, and I got a call from the principal, and he said they were in dire need of a coach. Would I mind coming over and coaching? Well, that started the ball rolling, and I haven't stopped since.
So your moment was when you thought you were going to take some time for yourself, and this woman cried and said that the community needed you to do this, and that opened your eyes to the impact that you were having.
Yes, indeed.
That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. And so for 30 years, you have lived your passion, Martin. What advice would you give to other people who have a passion and they want to express it in the world? What advice would you offer?
Well, one thing I tell the kids is don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't do. They should be telling you what you can do.
Good advice.
And really, you try to follow your dreams. You try, I mean, as kids, we want to grow up to be big league baseball players, but we know how that goes. Mm-hmm. But I just think that if you feel that you have a passion for something, you really should try to go after it as best you can.
And it's not been easy for you either. You've had to make sacrifices in order to keep coaching.
Yes, absolutely. I've worked midnight shift for 23 years so I could continue to coach. And that was pretty hard on my personal life, I'm sure. I'd have to say. Not that I was much of, about going out. but basically I worked, coached, and trained. That was it. That was my life. So when you think about it, when you think about the way that typical people live their lives from their maybe mid-20s to their 40s, they're out, cookouts and whatnot, but unfortunately I missed a lot of that. Not necessarily that I have any regrets about that, because the things that I did in coaching and running have been, to me, just a lifetime of memories.
And you've made an impact on so many people. You and I are having this conversation because you were recommended to me by a friend, Wendy Badman, who had so many wonderful stories to share with you. And she said that you are one of the nicest people that she had ever met, and that I had to talk to you. So I need to thank Wendy for this. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your life with so many children. You've impacted generations of kids, Martin.
Well, thank you. It means a lot when you hear people talk. Not that you want to hear them talk, but occasionally when you hear them speak, it makes it worthwhile,
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, if anybody has any questions for you about running and your dedication, or tips, or anything, if anybody who's watching the show wants to reach out to you and say hello, what is the best way for them to contact you?
They can always email me.
Okay. Okay, and I'll post your email address on the Live Your Passion website. But which email? Go ahead and say it out loud. Which email you want people to email you at?
Oh, it's c_martin5200@comcast.net.
Okay. All right, we'll put that on the website as well. Martin?
Sure.
I sincerely appreciate your time today. And I will
certainly welcome, Stacie.
Thank you so much. We'll say goodbye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
And I'm Stacie Zinn Roberts, and this has been Live Your Passion. Bye.